Becoming frugal doesn't just mean you're going to spend less more, but it also means you're going to have a lot more money in the future. Living frugally is one of the best ways many people become wealthy. They simply do it the right way. In this video, we'll be taking a look at a few of the ways you can become wealthy by living frugally. We'll be showing a few frugal habits that will act as an essential guide for your journey, along with a few tips and tricks. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Step 1. Make a list of all of your expenses and start cutting down. The first thing every frugal person has to do in order to start saving money is make a list of everything you already spend money on. You can start making a list of all of your expenses over the course of a month, and this should include absolutely everything you spent money on. Every last dollar should be accounted for. At the end of the month, when your list is prepared, you need to start analyzing it and cut out all of your unnecessary spendings. First, you need to take a look at your unavoidable fixed costs. This includes things like rent, internet costs, electricity bills, and more. Even though the fixed cost title might make it seem like it's unchangeable, it's really not. You can cut down on your rent by getting a roommate or moving somewhere cheaper. You can cut down on your internet bill by going for lower speeds, just the bare minimum you need. You can cut down on your electricity bill by simply using less electricity and spending more of your free time outside. Since these fixed costs usually make up the bulk of your spending, cutting down on them will help you out significantly. But once that's out of the way, take a look at your list once again, and on another page, write everything down in order or priority. There are some expenses you need, and some that you just don't. One by one, cut out all of your unnecessary expenses, and only stick with the bare minimum. You can also ease into this lifestyle by cutting out just a few of these expenses each month, and slowly work your way up to cutting all of them out of your life. This is the first and arguably the most important step to living a frugal lifestyle. Of course, we're about to mention some other great tips too, so stay tuned for that. But just by writing down a list and trying to come up with ways you reduce the cost of each item, you can go far. Step 2. Cut out the subscriptions and recurring payments. We live in an age where streaming services and other kinds of subscription services act as a silent killer for our bank accounts. At the end of the day, paying something like $10 for one service doesn't really seem like a lot of money. But here's the problem with that. We see each subscription service as its own without realizing the overall amount that we're spending on them. $10 isn't a lot. But spending $10 for 5 to 10 different services is a lot of money. On top of that, these services will try to entice you with exclusives, ad-free versions, and extra features. But these are things that you simply don't need. Now, if you take a look at all of the subscription services that you're subscribed to, you'll notice that you barely use most of them. That's why it's a good idea to go through all of the services that you're currently subscribed to. Then, try to figure out which services you actually use, if any, and which of the services you don't. Most people don't need more than 1 or 2 streaming services. But even aside from streaming, there are a lot of subscriptions that you probably have that you don't even realize. You could probably save up to $100 a month by unsubscribing from these services. But we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Step 3. Never pay full price. There are people out there who wouldn't even spend money on a grocery bag if it wasn't on sale. Now, we aren't asking you to be that extreme, but always looking for a discount or sale can earn you a lot of money in the long run. The great thing is that discounts are practically everywhere. All of these grocery stores are trying to compete with each other by giving you the lowest price. On top of that, certain grocery stores will let you enter free loyalty programs or give you coupons. Another great tip is to buy things that you know you're going to buy over and over again in bulk. There are some purchases you just can't avoid. For example, you probably need to buy toilet paper over and over again. But here's the thing. Buying toilet paper in bulk is going to be a lot cheaper than buying each individual roll. Of course, buying anything in bulk is going to be cheaper in the long run. You should only do this for things you know you're gonna buy again. This will bring the per unit cost of your purchases down, and technically, you won't be paying full price for the product either. Step 4. Use your car as little as possible. Not all of us have the luxury of living in a place with great public transport, but if you do happen to live in such an area, it will likely be cheaper than paying for your own gasoline. Whether prices are high or low, public transport is usually subsidized by cities or governments, making them even cheaper. You should always take a look at all of the public transport options that are available to you and see if it would be cheaper than paying for gasoline. If not, you'd probably be better off driving. But if it is, then always go for the cheaper option. But just generally, using your car as little as possible means you also shouldn't use it for small trips. For example, if you're visiting a friend or going to a corner store about a mile away from you, wouldn't it be way cheaper for you to simply walk or bike there instead of taking the car? Cars are ridiculously expensive. Not only are you paying to fill your tank up, but you're also paying for insurance, maintenance, and much more. On top of that, the more you use your car, the higher these costs get. That's why to live a frugal lifestyle, you need to limit your car usage and start walking, biking, or using public transport. And finally, the last step, invest whatever you save. Now that you know how to live frugally, it's time to get wealthy through that lifestyle. Simply spending less is not going to get you anywhere. Similarly, keeping money in a savings account or even a lucrative interest-bearing account will barely make a dent in your wealth either. In most cases, the interest you earn from that will be lower than inflation itself, which means you'll actively be losing money with time. What you really need to do is save as much money as you possibly can through your frugal lifestyle, and then invest it into something that will grow in value. There are a lot of different avenues you can invest your savings in. For example, stocks are often a favorite for new investors. There are safe options in stocks like investing in a mutual fund such as the S&P 500, which has a solid track record of high yearly growth. While at the same time, there are also risky options like investing in individual stocks. Aside from stocks, some other safe investments include real estate, which, in the US at least, has been booming for much of the 2020s. Buying real estate is generally considered safe and stable with a lot of potential for growth. However, even if you don't have enough money to invest in a single property, you can still consider options like rates. But overall, the main goal is to invest in anything that gives you a high chance of growth, whether it's stocks, real estate, or literally anything else. You have to make use of the money you save by living frugally, not just have it sit around. That's a wrap for this video. What are some of your frugal life hacks? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.